I've been in New York City for 10 years. I hit the street the first time at the age of 23. I basically pushed myself to the point of having a breakdown. I just couldn't handle the stress with no purpose behind it. I realized I was just gonna have to hit the street, and New York was right across the river. There was a soup kitchen. There was food available here. Initially, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just sort of surviving. I guess basically I try to do all that stuff that we're supposed to do because we're told we're supposed to do it because everyone else is doing it. I tried the job and going to school and the girlfriend and the house and the car and all that stuff. And I found it not to really serve much meaning. It was weird. I just walked away from pretty much everything I was doing. I walked into Central Park with my stuff and I just stayed by myself and didn't want to do anything. I just laid there for it seemed like a couple of days, I guess. And it's very weird because in those first few days, I found myself writing poetry. I think this world is an absolutely amazing thing, and everywhere you look it's just so intricate and it's so not perfect, but it's so wonderful. I see a lot of meaning in art. So I try to get away from the society and get as close to the natural world as I can. I'm a very science-minded person. I acknowledge that there's so much of the world that we don't know, but it just seems to me like religion's more of a man-made thing than having some intrinsic truth to it. But I could be wrong, I don't know. There might be some truth in a lot of these religions, and you look at things like the Bible and they talk about the narrow door going to heaven. It sort of, at the very least, acknowledges that thousands of years ago some guy was aware that most people aren't doing what we should be doing. The scale, for one thing. It's just amazing how we're able to build things so grandiose, how we're able to find space where you'd think there would be no space. It's also amazing to be able to meet people from all over the country and all over the world just sitting in one place. I can be a tourist without even moving. But truthfully, there are things I like about the city, yes, but then for the most part, I'm kind of fed up with this society and this city in particular, There's a lot to not like about it, especially nowadays because people don't think. We're not alone with our own minds the way people used to be in the past. People don't ask, they don't question anything, they just sort of follow the program. There are so many more options than what are presented to us. You're always told, well, you have to have a job or you'll be dead. It's like there's no other option. It's like you have to pick 1 through 3. Those are the only choices, but you don't realize there's a whole world of choices out there. A big part of it too is the difference between the city versus the suburbs versus the rural parts. It's almost like a city is not a natural phenomenon. There's just too many people in too small of a space, and people just act weird because of it, There's also a lot more anonymity in the city. You see people in New York walking down the street, acting crazy, yelling, screaming at the top of their lungs, acting like nuts. But you do that out in the country and everyone's gonna be talking about it. Everyone knows every little thing. You can't get away with bad behavior. You can't get away with, anything, There's more accountability, I guess. I would love to bring people back to the natural world, to have an appreciation for it. We could have this beautiful society if everyone could just do most of the stuff they were taught to do as little children. The things that Martin Luther King was saying 50 years ago, things that Jesus was saying 2,000 years ago. Simple, yet not yet done, Man is just incapable of, it seems, changing. But at the same time, I'm aware that can't do it. It hasn't been done for thousands of years. No one's been able to do it. So who am I to think we can change? We haven't yet.